Hi Otters, it's Miss Smith and welcome to your next guided reading lesson. Today we are looking at our final Roald Dahl text, and today's text is called The Dentist and the Crocodile. The text is on the website and it looks like this. It's quite a short text today, it's just one piece of A4. If you haven't read it yet, please pause me here and read through it, ready to answer some questions together. Okay then, so starting off today's lesson. First of all, as always, we're going to start with any vocabulary that I think you may struggle with or may not have heard before. And we've got a cunning smile, wrung his hands, a probe, and declared. What I'd like you to do is pause me in a moment, have a think, do you know what these words mean? If you don't, can you find them in the text? And can you use the text to help you work out what they might mean? And can you make a sensible guess? Pause me here whilst you work through those words and then press play when you're ready to move on. Okay then, so hopefully you've had a really sensible guess at these phrases and words, and hopefully you found that. So a cunning smile is the same as a sly smile. You normally say a fox would be quite cunning. Wrung his hands is to twist your hands together. Normally, if you're feeling anxious or nervous, you would do this action. A probe, it's a long tool used to examine something. It can be examining anything. And then to declare something is to speak with confidence. So Miss Smith declared that Otter class were the best, for example. Moving on then, we're going to start with our quick quiz. So if you would like to, you can pause me here. You could have a go at these questions on your own and then press play to go through the answers. Or if you would like, you can go through these questions one at a time with me, but please make sure you pause them each time and have a go at answering them yourself before I tell you the answer. Question 1. Who wanted their teeth repaired? So the two key words here for me would be teeth and repaired. That's what I'm going to look for in the text to help me with my answer. And it's a who question. So my answer is going to be a person or a living creature in this case. Pause me here whilst you have a look through it. So who wanted their teeth repaired? Hopefully you said the crocodile. And it says, right here and everywhere, my teeth require repair, because they used those key words, so teeth and repair. Question 2. How many teeth did they have? The how question, the how many, means that we're looking for a number. Okay, so we're going to look through the text. We're looking for a number of teeth. Pause me here whilst you work out the answer. Okay, so hopefully we're looking in the second paragraph here. And it goes, he opened wide his massive jaws. It was a fearsome sight. At least 300 pointed teeth, all sharp and shining white. The answer was at least 300 pointed teeth. If you just said 300, I'd give you the mark for that. But if we're copying it straight from the text, it does say at least 300. And question 3, who owned the creature? So again, we're looking for a person. Who owned the creature? Now this one's a bit of a vague answer really, so who owned the creature? You could have just said the lady, okay? It doesn't tell us the name of the lady. And maybe you could have answered in a bit more detail saying the lady with a gold chain in her hands. And again, that would just sort of show off that you've read and understood the text. But a lady would have got you the mark. Okay, next up. So this time's individual thinking. So why do you think the dentist's face was turning white and he quivered, quaked, and shook? How do you think he was feeling? Pause me whilst you answer this question, and then we'll go through the answers. This is quite straightforward. So why do you think he was turning white and he quivered, quaked, and shook? It's something to do with him being scared or frightened. You might have used terrified, horrified, a different synonym, but as long as it meant scared, maybe worried, I would give you the mark. And he's probably worried because there's a very dangerous crocodile just turned up in his dentist office. So how was he feeling? Scared or something along those lines. I would have liked you to have expanded your answer by saying scared because a crocodile turned up. Okay, you could have gone further again by saying he has to look after a crocodile's teeth and they're very sharp and pointy. This would normally be partner talk, but you can just think through this answer. So why do you think the crocodile wanted the dentist to look at his back teeth first? Why do you think the crocodile wanted the dentist to look at his back teeth first? Pause me whilst you think of your answer. Now remember, we've got that crocodile with a cunning smile, and we know that that means he's a sly crocodile. He doesn't want the dentist to look at his back teeth first because they're hurting the most or they're the dirtiest. He's trying to trick the dentist to go really far into his mouth, and so hopefully I imagine the crocodile will try and gobble him up. So he's trying to trick the dentist to so he can eat him in the end. Individual thinking. So find 2 more examples that show that the dentist was afraid of the crocodile. We've already had, I'm just going to go back a couple of slides. We already know that his face was turning white and he quivered, quaked and shook. You cannot use those answers again because it wants find 2 more examples. And it even tells you how many examples you need to find, just 2. And you want to show that the dentist was afraid of the crocodile. Pause me here whilst you look through the text and find those, and then press play ready to go through the answers. So having a look through this text, there are actually quite a few different answers you could have had. Some would have been more obvious and a clearer answer than others, but I would give you the mark for quite a few. So if you said something along the lines that the dentist kept himself well clear, which is in the 3rd paragraph, so something about him staying away, so he stood 2 yards away, I'd give you the mark for that. But then also it says the poor old dentist wrung his hands, and we went through that at the beginning, and I said that you might wring your hands if you're nervous or anxious. So the dentist wrung his hands, and he was also weeping in despair. Weeping is another word for crying. Okay, so that would be another example of him being worried or him being afraid. And then the final example that I found, you might have found more, was that the dentist shrieked and started climbing up the wall. Okay, so he's trying to get away from the crocodile, and shrieked is another word for screamed. This is another thinking question, please. And if you've got an adult or sibling who you can talk to, this would be a great time to have a think of those questions. The lady says, "Oh, Croc, you naughty boy, you're playing tricks again." What trick was the crocodile going to play? Pause me here whilst you think of your answer. Okay, so hopefully you thought something along the lines of the trick that the crocodile was going to play was trying to eat the dentist and to get him to go really far into his mouth so he can gobble him up. And this is what we mentioned earlier as well. This is why he wanted him to look at his back teeth first, to get the dentist to go really far into his mouth so he could eat them. This time it's some solo work, so it's going to be written work on your own. You could ask for an adult's help, but I don't think you'll need it. This time, I would like you to summarize the story of the poem in 2 sentences. Now, to summarize something, it basically means to kind of retell the story in your own words, but in a really short, simple sentences. So we want 2 sentences, and in just those sentences, you're going to tell me the whole of the poem. I don't want you to copy the poem. I want you to tell me in your own words in 2 sentences what happens in the poem. If you could write these down along with the rest of your questions today, and then you can send me through your answers. Okay then, Otters, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed that text. It was a nice one to end our Roald Dahl work on. Please make sure you're sending through your work to me because I'm loving reading your different answers, and I always think it's really interesting to see if you've managed to use the text to help your answer, your questions at all. I will speak to you again in a few days. Bye.